Scots be he, waar de wol is bled. Scots and Bruce as often led. Welcome to our gory bed. On to victory! On! On!
One, two. Flip it immediately. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the rally. Great to see everybody. Thanks for coming. When everybody gets into the park, we'll get started. So, if any of the speakers are here, can they come up to the front so we can get the rally started as quickly as possible? Trying to make sure that everything doesn't blow away. So any of the speakers, could they come up to the back of the stage here and we'll get started. Emma Harper, is she here? Emma Harper. Suzanne Blackley. Suzanne, you here? Suzanne Blackley, is she here? One, two. Hello, everybody. We're just about to get the rally started. Thanks for turning up today. It's brilliant to see everybody. We reckon about 1,200 people today, which I think is quite good for this part of the country. Trying to build up these rallies, as you know. Bit of a step back during the pandemic, but things have been building up. So hopefully we'll see you on some of the future rallies that are coming up in the not too distant future. Start off with a wee announcement. Declaration of a sovereign Scot. If you want to add your signature, Mike Fenwick's over here, so go and add your signature to Mike's declaration. My name is Bob Fotheringham. I'm part of the All Under One Banner team. Just want to say a couple of things before we get started. From the point of view of the independence movement, we've heard a lot of talk this week about Scotland's right to decide, about the right of the Scottish Government and the Scottish Parliament to hold an independence referendum. We've heard a lot about that, but what we, I think, in the movement have got to do is hold the politicians to account. We want to see a referendum sooner rather than later, and if we have to confront Boris Johnson, the Tories and the British state to achieve it, then let's do it. Let's do it. We don't need to wait for the say of union politicians and judges based in London. It's our right to decide, and let's move ahead and have that independence referendum, whatever it takes. That's the first thing. Thank you. Thanks for that. The second thing I want to say, over the last weekend, I think, starting with the celebrations, the so-called celebrations, Jubilee celebrations for the monarchy and the Queen, ending with Boris Johnston's close vote in Parliament, I think has shown the need now more than ever for Scottish independence and to break with the British state. His new idea, his big new idea, sell off more social housing, sell off more council housing. The exact opposite is what's needed. A government that actually invests in people, that builds houses that people can afford to live in. At the same time as this is going on, the arms companies, the energy companies making massive profits on the back of ordinary people who are finding it hard to feed their children and live day to day. If there's been never bigger advertisement for Scottish independence, the situation now lets us know why we need to control our country and our own destiny. So, that's a couple of things I've got to say, folks. We're going to start off with a rally. We've got a few good speakers coming up, but we're going to start off with Pete Scally, who's going to do a couple of songs for us. Okay, Pete, thank you.
I'll give you a shout. I got a fright when this came. I thought Sam was going to make me do the dusting there. How you all doing? Good to see you all here. It's great when we all come from all over Scotland, we all just gather. It's amazing. You see faces that you've seen in Dundee or whatever, just everybody gathering together. Brilliant. Right, I'll shut up. I'll sing a couple of songs. I will be back on in a wee while as well to do another few, so please hang a bit. The reason I don't like it, this flag I wear. Boris thinks I'm crazy because I comb my hair. I wanna free my country, but I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna rock, gonna roll, gonna do it almost every day. Oh yeah, I'm a Scottish rebel from head to toe, but I gotta keep it rocking everywhere I go. Everybody join us, we're good company. Bring your country back, be a Scottish rebel like me. I've been waiting on freedom, I've been waiting too long, but their time is over, that's why I'm singing this song. All under one banner, hope over fear, man, and forward as one, we're marching all over this land. Oh yeah, I'm a Scottish rebel from head to toe, but I gotta keep it rocking everywhere I go. Everybody join us, we're good company. Claim your country back, be a Scottish rebel like me. Yeah! I can see some dancers. Only Tories don't dance in parks. We're sending a message, we're sending it clear. We're rising up, boy, our time is here. We'll have a celebration, cause we're doing it our own way. And then we'll rock till we drop on Independence Day. Oh yeah, I'm a Scottish rebel from head to toe, but I gotta keep it rocking everywhere I go. Everybody join us, we're good company. Claim your country back, be a Scottish rebel like me. I'm a Scottish rebel from head to toe, but I gotta keep it rocking everywhere I go. Everybody join us, we're good company. Claim your country back and be a Scottish rebel like me. me. Be a real cool cat, be a rugged Scottish rebel like me. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. It is great to be back singing in front of you guys. It absolutely is amazing. I love it. He's in shouty mode. Aye. What? Who the fuck is what?
Got permission.
Sammy called when she got the word. She said, I suppose you've heard about Boris. Well, Teresa's gone and Boris is here. Hear all those right-wing racist Nazis cheer. For Boris the clown. I want to hear yous. Well, he don't know what he's doing or where he's gonna go. He said it's time for leaving, but it's us that's gonna go. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris.
Boris? Who the fuck is Boris?
Sitting there for years just trying to cause a fuss. He tells a pack of lies and then he writes them on a bus. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris.
Boris? Who the fuck is Boris?
Teresa's at home with her feet up in her slippers. Boris is on the news, waving a kipper, and he did. Oh Boris, you're wrong. What is he? He's a burst mattress that's wired to the moon. A lying posh boy, Tory buffoon. It's Boris the clown. I'm going to blow away up here. Well, he don't know what he's doing or where he's gonna go. He said it's time for leaving, but it's us that's gonna go. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris.
Boris? Who the fuck is Boris?
Sitting there for years just trying to cause a fuss. He tells a pack of lies and then he writes them on a bus. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris.
Boris? Who the fuck is Boris?
His stupid hair's on his eyes, so he can't see that Scotland will soon be free! For Boris the clown. Stick to peddling your bike instead of peddling your lies. Sit back and watch the union's demise. Come on, last time. He don't know what he's doing or where he's gonna go. He said it's time for leaving, but it's us that's gonna go. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris. Sitting there for years just trying to cause a fuss. He tells a pack of lies and then he writes them on a bus. So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris.
Boris? Who the fuck is Boris?
So we're gonna get used to just living next door to Boris. Boris! Thank you very much. Please hang about and I'll be back on, providing we've all no blew away by that time. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
We'd just like to invite Emma Harper, SNP, onto the stage. Give her a big hand. Emma Harper.
Is that right? Just a wee bit? Good stuff. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It is such a braw sight to see such a sea of blue in Dumfries. This is absolutely fantastic to see all the saltires waving in the wind today, and it is a wee bit breezy actually, but welcome to Dumfries. This is the land of the Doonhamers, and I thank you all for coming today. It actually is a joy and a pleasure to be out and to see so many folk. I know we've had 2.5 years of not being able to see each other, hang out with our pals, and even, gather. So today was fantastic to see so many folk march through the streets of my hometown. So thanks everybody for coming here. I want to say it's time for Scotland to be an independent country, and I'm sure you'll all agree with that. Westminster system is absolutely broken. We see that day in, day out, and when I'm in chamber in Parliament and pointing fingers and arguing with the opposition across, we've got 754 unelected members of the House of Lords, and they get 350 quid a day to show up, and all they need to do is show up for 20 minutes. And probably it'll take them 20 minutes to get on their robes, actually. So for us in Scotland, we need to have democracy. We need to promote engagement and inclusivity. Today, we've got people here from England. We've got Dumfries and Galloway pensioners for Indy here. We've got D&G English Scots for Yes here. We've got people from our European countries. We've got people from America, and we've got people from Labour Party, we've got people from Scottish Socialists, we've got SNP, and we might even have some, and from the Republic of Fife. And I'm sure we have, in my experience, we have people who are Conservatives that are voting for independence also. So what we want to see in Scotland is Scottish parties for the people who live in Scotland. We want our laws to be made here. We want the parties to be home in Scotland, not being dictated to from Westminster. Again, Westminster's broken. It's absolutely clear that we cannot do what we need to do to address the causes of health inequalities without full fiscal responsibility, but better still being an independent country, because that is what normal independent countries do. For me, it's time. It's time Scotland was independent, and so for me, this summer, I will be speaking to people, I will be engaging, and that's what I would love you guys to do. If each one of you could just convince one person, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a neighbour, just convince one person on the merits of independence, we will win more than 50% of the vote in next year's referendum, and I'm sure you'll all be extremely happy when we get above 50% next year. So I know for me that I'm suspecting that the First Minister will make some kind of announcement, can't say that for definite, before summer recess, because I would love us to be out on the streets engaging, get your barbecues, have your beers, but talk to folk about independence. That's the bottom line for me. It's time to just get on with it, and that's what I'm about to do. So thanks very much again, everybody, for coming here. Thank you.
Hi, folks. Thanks, Bruno. Just to say that, as you well know, this is part of a series of demonstrations and rallies all under one banner are having across Scotland, and these are going on throughout the summer, finishing in Edinburgh in October. But just to announce the next couple so that you're aware of what's coming up. 25th of June, it's the annual Bannockburn demonstration and rally, and that's on the 24th of June in Bannockburn. And then on 30th of July, what we just started last year is a demonstration and rally in Faz Lane. As you know, and the whole thing about Ukraine and the war in Ukraine has highlighted the vulnerability of Scotland because of the sighting of nuclear weapons on the Clyde, just about 30 miles from my front door. And the sooner we get independence and get rid of nuclear weapons, the better as far as Scotland's concerned. So, we want to see the back of the whole lot of them, but we can start by getting rid of them in Scotland. So, hopefully we'll see you there on the 30th of July. Okay, just to announce the next speaker is Chris McKenna from Pensioners from Independence. Chris, are you here? And I see before Chris comes up, I'm looking for Math Campbell and Colette Stevenson, MSP. Okay, so if you two could come up to the back of the stage, that would be great. Here's Chick. Sorry, my reading abilities are fairly poor. It's Chick McKenna, not Chris.
Can you hear me all right? Good. Nice to see you, Mr. McKinnon. Listen, I'm up here speaking on behalf of Dumfries Pensioners for Independence, and there's a couple of things that I want to say. First of all, in Scotland, we have 1 million pensioners, over 1 million in fact, and of that over 1 million, 17% live in poverty. That is a disgrace in a wealthy country. We should never accept anything approaching that. I did some research when I was coming down here, and I've looked at 4 countries that are broadly similar to Scotland and their pension rates. You'll not be surprised to know that we're at the bottom of the heap. Ireland pay £214 a week to their pensioners. Netherlands, £260 a week. Denmark, £398 a week. And the UK, the bottom line is £137 a week. It's going up a wee bit, but that's the bottom line. Now, these are not SNP figures, they're not independence figures. These figures come from that bastion of conservatism, the Daily Express. So if it's in the Daily Express, it must be true, right? As far as pensions are concerned, we're in the bottom half in Europe. If you were putting a league table up, we'd be down in the relegation zone. We wouldn't be anywhere near the top. What does independence mean to pensioners? Well, as Emma alluded to, independence means control over the fiscal levers. Those fiscal levers include the ability to pay our pensioners what they're worth. And believe me, us pensioners are worth a damn sight more than £137 a week. And we've got a government in Westminster that is determined to attack older and more vulnerable people. The triple lock was abandoned this year, something that would have guaranteed us a significant increase in our pensions. We're seeing increases in energy costs, but hey, hang on, the Tory government are going to give us some of that money back so that we can pay it back to their pals in the power companies. Ridiculous. We're paying higher fuel prices. Dumfries now is 191.9 pence a litre. It's outrageous. If you're a pensioner and you want to travel to see your family, you're going to have to pay through the nose to do that. We're seeing higher food prices. You go to Tesco's or Morrison's or any of these places, and you'll see the prices have gone up steadily over the last year. They're trying to blame the war in Ukraine. Bullshit! It's got nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. It's got everything to do with the greedy power companies. In Europe, European countries have put a cap on the rises that the power companies can put on. What have we done? We've said, go ahead, fill your boots. Oh, by the way, we'll give you some money back to pensioners so that they can then pay your prices, so that our shareholders don't lose out. Being a pensioner in Britain, never mind Scotland, means that you're at the bottom of the food chain. Your views don't count. Well, I'll tell you what, with 1 million pensioners in Scotland, our views really should count. And they should be listened to by politicians the length and breadth of the country. And I don't care what colour you are. One other point about pensioners. Pensioners are usually the last man or woman standing in their family. Us pensioners have got a job to do to educate our families about the system that they're being brought up in, that is treating them as cannon fodder for the profiteering power companies, the energy giants and the Tories. That's all we are, cannon fodder to them. We've always been cannon fodder. Whether it was at Balaclava or Waterloo or anywhere else, we've been cannon fodder. And I'm sick of that. I'm sick of us being used as cannon fodder for politicians to get elected. I want to finish on a wee note. I was born on the 1st of July 1945. That makes me, in a couple of weeks, 77. Now, I was born to a father coming home from a war, to no job, to no house. I was born into poverty. I grew up in the 50s when I listened to Harold Macmillan telling us we've never had it so good. And I thought, what a load of bullshit. Actually, nowadays, I'm thinking he was maybe right. We never had it so good. Yeah, well, I came through the 60s, the 70s, the Thatcher years, the right to buy, and all of that crap. And here's Boris Johnson resurrecting all that stuff. Well, he can go kiss my Scottish arse. My final point. I talked about being born into poverty, growing up in poverty, and I managed to find my way out of poverty through hard work, education, and what have you. And I've got to where I am today. But if I die in poverty, I don't want to die as a part of the British state. I want to die in freedom.
Thanks very much, Chick. We're having a wee bit wind problems, as you might have noticed, but our next speaker is Suzanne Blackley from the AUOB Party. Hopefully we'll get the thing sorted by the time she speaks.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Name the date. Dissolve the union. Now is the time. These are all statements that are posted every day on social media. Sadly, what you find less of now is unity in our movement. Needless division amongst our movement. Scotland has a bad habit of being its own worst enemy. We have so much to give and so much potential within this nation that we risk the opportunity to flourish if we continue this way. No political party owns independence. Independence will be decided by the people. Ultimately, our politicians are chess pieces being aligned for victory. I, myself, am critical of the Scottish Government, and I don't make any apologies for it, and I make no secret of it. I find their approach and sense of urgency for independence lacklustre. I am reminded of a line from the film Braveheart which states, "You think the people of this country exist to provide you with a position. I think your position exists to provide these people with their freedom." We should never fear criticism or feel we can't question or criticise our politicians. They're elected by the people and paid handsomely to do so, and they must accept that this criticism comes with the position they hold. I understand the frustration within our movement, and I feel it myself, we all do. And I understand that social media provides a platform which makes it easier to say what you'd be less inclined to say to someone's face. But we cannot continue to argue amongst ourselves. In 2014, the Unionists played on the fears of the Scottish people, and we did not answer convincingly the important questions. Independence has never been more important. This union has now struck its iceberg and is sinking fast due to decisions made on our behalf that we did not vote for. Today I have marched side by side with fellow supporters of independence, and I did so without needing to know which political party you chose at the ballot box. Because independence is our common goal, and although we may disagree on other issues, independence alone is and should be enough to unite us. So to every person in our movement, next time you see an independence supporter criticising the Scottish Government policy or other independent supporting parties, the best action to take is to simply do nothing. An angry person will quieten quickly if they're left to bellow in an empty chamber. Responding will only inflame the situation, and this does nothing but damage to our cause. We've learned many important lessons from 2014 in our fight against the Unionists, and we are therefore in a better position to fight their attacks this time. But we cannot afford this time to let ourselves be the reason we lose another opportunity to free Scotland.
Thanks very much, Suzanne. Right, Bob. Bob.
Sorry.
You give Bob a big hand.
Falling asleep. Jen Branigan here. Does she happen to be here? No. Okay, thanks very much, folks. Our next speaker is Colin McPherson, Germans for Scottish Independence, all the way from Germany for the march today. We've got a global representation here. So give Colin a big hand.
Hello, Dumfries. Good to see you all here. And it's good to see us getting the show back on the road after the years of the pandemic. Now, I would like to talk to you about a couple of practical issues, because I know here in the south of Scotland, folk are worried about borders and about currency, because that is what the Unionists use to, in their minds, show that we shouldn't be independent. But they're actually not such a problem. We have borders and we have different currencies in Europe. If you watch debate night on Wednesday night, Stephen Kerr's case for the Union is that 3 of his kids live in England. Aye, right, well, my parents stay in Arnhem and I stay in Germany. We survive. It's not a big deal. But the border issue is obviously a totally complex issue, but a very easy issue. What we don't know, of course, is how a border within our UK would look like when we're independent. Now, there's no reason that it has to be a big deal. We have the common travel area in Ireland, and it's been working well for years. If you listen to the Unionists, of course, they think it's going to be like the Berlin Wall. It's going to be Checkpoint Charlie. You're going to be showing your passports. You can have the watchtowers. Well, that's just not the way it works. In a modern Europe, you have borders, yes. A friend of mine stays in the German border with Switzerland, and he says, aye, I might get checked once in a blue moon, but 98% of the time I pass through the border without any hassle whatsoever. And that would be what it would look like in Gretna after independence. It wouldn't be Checkpoint Charlie. Also, the issue of currency. I remember David Mundell standing up at Westminster a few years ago saying, my constituents in Arnhem, they don't want to get the bus to Carlisle and have to pay for the return journey with a different currency. Well, that just shows how detached from reality Mr. Mundell is, because if he knew the reality, he'd be getting your day return in Arnhem and he'd be using the same currency. But even aside of that, again, we have different currencies in Europe. This, folk, is a Czech crown. Yes, a member of the EU that doesn't use the euro. Obviously, as you will know, Germany does use the euro. And what happens? you have two options. You either take a second purse with your Czech crowns when you go over to the Czech Republic, or alternatively, you can pay in euros in the Czech Republic. Most of these border towns, they accept both currencies. And again, my mate in Switzerland confirmed that it is exactly the same on the Swiss-German border, where they obviously have Swiss francs and euros. Both currencies are accepted. And of course, since COVID, we have another nice addition. We have plastic. Your plastic card doesn't care what currency it's set out in. I was paying for my beer in a pub in Edinburgh with my plastic card issued in Germany. No cash needed at all. So again, currency is not the issue that the unionists, our opponents, would make it out to be. So remember that, folk, because you good folk are going to be the ones sharpening doors when the campaign gets up and running. I do wish you all the best, and whatever happens, know one thing. Back in Germany, we've got your back, and we will together regain independence for Scotland. Thank you.
Have we got David Younger around? Right, introducing David Younger from the SSRC.
SSRG.
Oh, sorry, SSRD. David, can you explain what SSRD is, just for Sunday daft like me?
It's this Scottish Sovereignty Research Group. We're involved in looking at all of the different paths to independence, but today I want to talk to you about one path, the one that you've heard quite a lot of recently. It's called the claim of right. Now, the claim of right is your right to tell politicians what you want them to do. It's a very important issue. It's a very important issue because all of the time we ask for the SNP to do what we want them to do. They're not doing what we want them to do. We're complaining about it. But we have the right not to ask them, but to tell them what to do. And the claim of right gives us that power. Now, what we're developing as of right now is a series of workshops designed to bring people on board. Now, I want to give you a little bit of ancient history here. Back in 1949, a gentleman by the name of McCormack got 1,200 volunteers together. He went round Scotland, explained what Home Rule was about, and picked up over 2 million signatures, more than half of the population of Scotland, the voting population at that time. If he could do it with 1,200 volunteers, I'm damn sure that we can do it with 1,200 volunteers. But we need people who will go out and walk the streets. We need people who will chap doors, who will talk to their neighbours, who talk to people in public about the claim of right and explain what that claim really means. Once we get enough people on board, we've got a sign-up form for them to connect to the People's Assembly, which is a group. I've opened a Facebook page for it. There's nothing much on there at the moment because we're waiting for you to interact with us so that we can take this forward. But you have to get off Facebook and get onto the streets. There's only one way to do this, and that is to talk to everybody, to get them on board, to get them to understand what their rights are. And there is no other way of doing it, none whatsoever. We just can't do it on social media. And the worst thing about this, which is something that some of you may react with a bark, and that is that we have to get the 50% or so that we're told at the moment do not support independence. We have to get them on board as well. And the worst thing about all of this, from your point of view, is that we're not talking about independence at all. We're talking about what we, as sovereign Scots, want to see as a state that we want to live in. And if that means getting rid of the Treaty of Union and having a new treaty, a new agreement with our neighbour, that's the way that we do it. But we don't need to talk about independence because independence is already there. We've got it. We just need to use it. And that's all I'm asking for you to do. So keep an eye out and watch this spot on Facebook, and you'll see we are asking for volunteers. We're asking for people who are prepared to give their time and to go out there and talk to everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Sorry, don't touch the mic. Okay, folks, final speaker is going to be Jen Branigan from Independence Live, and then after Jen, Pete Scally is going to come back to give us a few more songs. Okay, just finish off so we get Pete back up again. All right, Jem, are you here? Yep. Here she comes.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. You all look wonderful. So I just want to say, Falcha Fescavar. I'm with Jem from Independence Live, and I've been asked to say a few words. I'll try and keep it short and sweet and on the point. There was a Scotsman, an Irishman, and a Welshman who walked into a bar. They all turned to each other and said, "This is a joke. We are all having our countries and peoples ruled by Westminster. We have to fight for independence now, all of us, together." And I think it's all about uniting. Independence Live is non-political, and we're just trying to encourage people to unite, no matter what your beliefs are, put it aside, and actually think of Scotland, because whether we end up with a coalition government or whatever is something that comes afterwards. We are non-political, and we are here because you don't find this information on the news. You don't find it in the newspapers or on BBC. We film, volunteers, live streamers, film these things from start to finish, and you can always view them after the time and take screenshots to prove you were there. But you won't find this coverage anywhere else. And we are all volunteers. We don't benefit from it at all, other than we get to be part of a beautiful part in history. So follow us, you know, Independence Live. We are always doing live streams at the events. Follow all under one banner. Follow Scotland Now. There are lots of groups that are starting, trying to unite everybody. And that's the most important thing. So what I wanted to say was, obviously you've heard half of these things before, but I'm going to say it again, okay? Scotland is a country. It is obvious, isn't it? So obvious that most who are against Scottish independence somehow seem to miss that one glaring fact. Scotland is a country that has been dominated and ruled by another country, not to mention ruled unfairly and wrongly dominated, ridiculed and downtrodden by Westminster. When visiting down south, we are asked if our Scottish pounds bounce, and how many refuse to accept them as legal tender. The best thing about visiting down south is a sign on the way back that says, "Welcome to Scotland." The constant pish that doesn't stop, even on government-owned television. The map of Scotland appears smaller than its actual size. For a time, the BBC weather map did not even show the Outer Hebrides. Online shopping actually state that they consider the Western Isles and Orkney and Shetland to be outside the UK, so much for better together. And they charge extremely high charges or refuse to deliver, saying they are not part of the UK. News events and weather forecasts focus on the lower parts of the so-called Union, what we would call southern Scotland. That's named the United Kingdom, as if all parties were willing in some joyful union or marriage of love and wonder and mutual benefit. It's not like that, is it? It's not a joyful, mutually beneficial or voluntary union. Scotland is claiming her right to sovereignty and to not be in a union that is not voluntary and to which it wasn't willing. And so does Ireland and Wales. It's not just Scotland. So it is clear that Westminster's three unwilling neighbours want to dissolve this narcissistic, unwanted, assumed and forced relationship where they have been dominated and gaslighted by Westminster. A union would never mean that each country, a union would mean that each country holds its own independence, but has mutual benefits of a union, much like the European Union. But it has never been like that, has it? They took all our rights and our resources and stood on us, and they benefited, and we were dragged into poverty. But as the typical narcissist, Westminster manipulates and is full of deceit. They spread propaganda and scare people thinking they are going to lose their pensions, that we won't have a currency. They are scaremongering. Don't believe it. All of the places that I mentioned earlier, like Independence Live, Scotland Now, they are putting the true facts up there. Don't be scared by Westminster propaganda. Scotland, bonny, but not too wee. A country with her own flag, her own national animal, her own national flower, her own traditional music and traditional dress, her own distinctive people. Scotland has her own borders, her own distinctive national pride, and that national pride exists both within and without our borders due to many events outside our control. Many who are of Scottish descent reside beyond Scotland's borders due to historical events beyond their ancestors' control, like the Scottish clearances, and they love Scotland just as much as people who were born here do. As a nation, Scotland and her people have been fighting for their freedom and the right to be recognized as an independent country for hundreds of years. We have never given up. Over the years, our strongest men have been used as cannon fodder for other wars. Wars we had no willing part in. We have been summoned and dispatched. We have suffered, been deceived. We have had our resources stolen and endured through famines, persecution, and the Scottish clearances, and we will never surrender to being ruled by another country. For hundreds of years, we have been downtrodden. Our country's natural resources are plundered, and we receive no benefit from them. And now we are rising and we are saying, no more independence now. No more deceit, no more delays, no more dragging of feet. Independence now. Scotland, or Alaba as we call her, has her own unique citizens, her own languages, a distinctive culture, a unique landscape, a one-of-a-kind climate, and a history set in stone. We have our own destiny, our own stone of destiny, and our declaration, the declaration of our growth. As a Scottish people, we are sovereign, and we have never ceded our sovereignty. We have our right to claim, and this goes back to 1685. We are here to work together and unite, and we are here to empower our people of this land of ours by factual, accurate, on-the-ground, non-political, live reporting and podcasts. Independence Live is a grassroots organization, and we have been active since 2013. We felt that there was a need for this on-the-ground, live, honest reporting of Scotland's events because we felt that this was lacking and that it was time to move with the times and move away from state-owned television and its bias and lack of accurate coverage and lack of coverage of Scottish events. We support Scottish independence and feel that it is well past time that Scotland's future was in Scotland's own hands after a wee detour of 300 years. Our live shows and podcasts all help to link Scotland and its people and keep them up to date on what is happening around their own country. We and our team of dedicated live streamers also bring factual information and developments directly to our nation. We try to address specific important independence issues, and we consult with experts to produce podcasts to bring you the best, reliable and factual content as what is happening. Okay. So that you can be involved and feel part of events even when you are unable to attend events in person. Our arms are open and all are welcome to be part of Independence Scotland and Independence Live. We would like you to get involved and learn new skills and knowledge share. Please contact us via our website, independencelive.net. We also run crowdfunding. Information is on our Facebook page. Viewers are also able to send stars to help support the live streams, as all of our live streamers are voluntary, and we purchase our own equipment. This will assist in covering the cost of our volunteers and the purchasing of new equipment that often gets damaged at events if people bump into us, and the cost of running the grassroots organization Independence Live. We are also on Twitter and other social media, so keep your eyes peeled and keep up to date with what is happening in Scotland. I'm just going to read a poem that's written in Scots by a Scots poet called Angus Shure Khan. It's called A Bomb. Here on the West Coast, we have to play mind host to the nuclear bomb. A right, you're wrong, we could all soon be toast. July the 4th, it's Independence Day in America, with ranks broke away. They've put up a good fight and landed just right. Surely we can do it too. Should your submarines be nuclear, fueled with panic and fear, are your boats as necessary as times and clear? That's it. Travel safely home, people. Love to see you again next time. Love you all. Bye.
Thanks very much, Jen. That was wonderful. Just to say, this is us finishing off now. I'm going to introduce you back to Pete in a second, but if anyone could go over to the Declaration of Sovereign Scots, over to Mike Fennick, who's standing there giving us a wee wave. Guy with the white hair, the lovely white-haired guy. If any of you could go over and maybe sign his declaration, that would be fantastic. Obviously, the weather's against us, so we're cutting it short today. Pete Scally is going to sing us out so we can all go dancing home before the rain comes on, yeah? Thanks very much, everybody, for coming. Thanks.
All right. Good to see you are still here. Pardon me. Right, I'm going to do a wee song off my latest CD. It's available here if anybody's interested. I'm a Glasgow boy originally, so I've got a wee song about a wee pub in Glasgow, a nice wee indie pub called The Drover. This song's called Keep On Rockin' Till Our Country's Free. Still dance. Come on, pretty mama, gotta tell you about the place to go. You'll be rocking with the rebels at the Drover, come and give it a go. You'll be dancing day and night and singing songs about our fight. And we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. When you party with the rebels, well, you really get a swinging show. 'Cause it's not the kind of music that you're hearing on your radio. Oh, freedom you cry as you raise your salts high. And we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. Yeah! Oh, we're dancing in the corner. The corner is showing the rest of you up. It's contagious, it's spreading. Well, the freedom train is coming and I want you all to get on board. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us, cause it's coming like a juggernaut. It's not far down the track where we take our country back, and we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. So come on everybody, gonna have to make a lot of noise, cause the freedom bell is ringing and it's almost time to rejoice. So grab your dancing shoes, it's time to ditch those Union blues, and we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. Go! So come on everybody, gotta tell you about the place to go. You'll be rocking with the rebels at the Drover, come and give it a go. You'll be dancing day and night and singing songs about our fight, and we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. Yeah, we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free. Yeah, we're gonna keep on rocking until our country's free, free. Thank you very much. Thanks to the dancers. Take a bow, that's it. You can take, that's it, that's it. All the dancers can bow. Thanks very much. As I said, that's on my new CD. I'm gonna do something else that I've no planned. I don't know. Okay, here's a song that you all know, but as usual I change things up, so it's a bit different. Makes me forget the words sometimes, even though I've sang the song a billion times before in another version. But we'll get a bash. Shout, sing, dance, fart, whatever you want. I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing songs that make me think about where I came from. And that's the reason why I seem far away today. Let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. If I should be called a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. And I have moved, kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving. I've lost some friends that needed losing, found others on the way. And I have tried, kept on trying, stolen dreams, yeah, there's no denying. I've traveled far, with conscience flying, somewhere in the way. now I'm going home. And if I should be called a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. This is boogie time and flag waving time. Come on. Kisses flown, I will disappear. Let me tell you that I love you and that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. And if I should be called a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. We'll get more dancers. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Thank you very much. Hope you liked that. It's a wee change, innit? Over the last few years I've heard that song 80 squillion billion pickled onion times, so I thought I'd change it a wee bit, save myself getting bored.
Up a minute. Pete's going to do another couple of songs, and then we're going to totally round off with Dr. David over there sitting with the guitar, and he's going to do a wee sing-song of Old Lang Syne if anybody wants to join in with that. But I'll be after Pete's couple of songs, okay? Cheers.
That's better. Thanks for hanging about, everybody. I'm going to do another couple. I usually like to keep it a bit upbeat and rock and roll, but I did write one that's a wee bit slower and flag wavy. So if you've got a flag handy, get it in the air, give it a wee wave. This is Patriots. Gaze through the eyes of a legend like Wallace or Bruce, and you'll see they have stolen our country's potential. Our beautiful land should be free, but we'll take no more of it. We're making sure of it. Come, sing along with me. fighting for Scotland and freedom for all. Stand in the fields of Culloden or Bannockburn, close your eyes, feel the resurgence within you from your countrymen who have died, but they'll take no more away. Stand up and have your say, come and stand with me. We are patriots, one and all. You can tell by the roar when we answer the call. We are patriots, one and all. We're fighting for Scotland and freedom for all. Let's see the flags flying high for your country. We are the patriots. I need to give a special mention to Graham Dallas, Pepper Jock, who helps me with a lot of these tracks. So, cheers, buddy. Gaze through the eyes of a legend like Wallace or Bruce, and you'll see we gather with proud Scottish people to fight for our land to be free. And as the time goes by, watch as we multiply. Soon everyone will see. We are patriots, one and all. You can tell by the roar when we answer the call. We are patriots, one and all. We're fighting for Scotland and freedom for all. We are patriots, one and all. You can tell by the roar when we answer the call. We are patriots, one and all. We're fighting for Scotland and freedom for all. Thank you very much, everybody. Nice to see the flags in there. Sammy, could you send one of the children our way some water for me, please? One of the minions. Any minion will do. I don't have a favourite. Closer. And faster would help. Thank you, Leah. Big round of applause for Leah, the water lady. Right, one more and then you can get home and get your dinner. Yay, dinner! Are we singing or are we dancing? Have we got any dancers here? Like mental dancers? No. You're mental? I don't think it's time for freedom. I'll do something else. Anyway, before I do my last one, thank you very much for listening. If you don't know me, I'm Pete Scally. Find me on YouTube, Pete Scally Music, or on Facebook. Cheers. The second someone mentioned you were all alone, I could feel the trouble coursing through your veins, and now I know it's gotta hold. Just a phone call left unanswered had me sparking up. These cigarettes won't stop me wondering where you are. Don't let go. Keep a hold. 'Cause if you look into the distance, there's a house upon a hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you feel safe to feel like grace. We've all made mistakes if you've lost your way. And I will leave the light on. 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 So tell me what's been happening, what's been on your mind. Lately you've been searching for a darker place to hide. That's alright. But if you carry on abusing, you'll be robbed from us. I refuse to lose another friend I love. Don't let go. Keep a hold. But if you look into the distance, there's a house upon a hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you feel safe to feel like grace. We've all made mistakes if you've lost your way. And I will leave the light on. 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 'Cause if you look into the distance, there's a house upon a hill, guiding like a lighthouse. It's a place where you feel safe to feel like grace. If you've lost your way, if you've lost your way. And I know you're down and out now, but I need you to be brave. Hiding from the truth, you're gonna make it all okay. I feel your grace. If you feel like grace, if you've lost your way. And I will leave the light on. 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 Thank you very much, I've been Peter Scully. Love you guys. I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Cheers. Have a good one. Safe journey home.
Right, there's a black Polo Volkswagen SV08UJL. Oh, I think it's the guy on the guitar over there. Yeah, the police are after you. Right, she's just coming over, yeah.
I'll come and get you. We can't get you.